I've been hearing a lot of people talking about buying an RV campsite. Well, before you do, if you're thinking about it, or if you're all about ready to sign them papers, think of these things before you do. All right, now I did a video about dreaming out loud RVing, and they bought a RV site. And after I watched that video, I did some little research, and I started watching other folks that were talking about buying RV sites. Because as we're all aware, I talk about it all the time, about how campsites are getting more and more crowded, and there's less and less places. Even the boondocking spots are shrinking, and more people are buying RVs and so on and so on. It's a broken record, but that's what's happening right now. So some people are saying, hey, I need that base camp. I need that sense of security. I don't want to go back to a house. I still want to travel. I still want to do the full-time RV life. So instead of buying land and then having to pay to get it all done and perked and flattened and put electric and dumpster, why don't I just go and buy an RV campsite? It's all set and ready to go. Now, the first thing that you have to think about is there's an HOA. That's right, a homeowners association. Just because you bought the land, yeah, it's yours, but whoever owns the park and the people in it, they form a little homeowners association, and they make rules. So you have to look and check out all the rules that you're going to have to follow. Even if it's your land and you bought that little hunk of dirt, there's still rules that you have to apply to you and your life. Now, some rules to consider are just a few, are just like, can you change anything? Can you build on it? Can you, say, put a little shed there? So when you are there, you can utilize it, or when you're not there, you can store some things in, like lawn chairs or a grill or whatever. So when you come back and you have your little long-term stay there, you can just pull it out of a shed. Are you allowed to do stuff like that? When you're not there, can you rent out your space? Some places will not allow you to rent out your space while you're not there. And if you can rent out your space, do you get the money, all the money, or is it like, say, a 60-40 split or a 50-50 split? Check those things out. That's right. Some places that if you rent your space out while you are gone, yeah, you may only get 60% of that income. The rest goes to the HOA. When you are there, can you have guests? I know it sounds silly, but some places don't allow you to have guests. Or if you can have guests, how many? How long can they stay? Can they have kids? Can they park their car in your lot? Or must they park somewhere else in a designated area and be shuttled back and forth? Which is the next thing. Are you allowed to have a golf cart or a bicycle or something like that? You have to ask these questions, because HOA rules, they get very, very specific, down to the minor details of, yes, can you not have guests? Dogs. Can you have pets? Are there breed restrictions? Are there certain breeds they will not allow, if they do allow pets at all? And can you even stay year-round? Are you allowed to be there in your spot? That's right, the little hunk of dirt that you bought. Are you allowed to stay there year-round if you so choose? For instance, in our recent pandemic, if you decided, hey, until this thing blows over, which was over a year, I want to stay on my spot. Are you allowed to? Or when you're out traveling, and I don't know, maybe you just a little low on funds, or maybe you an illness or something, and you just want to go back to your space and stay for, I don't know, 6 months, 11 months, a year, 8 months, whatever. Are you allowed to stay full time? That's right. Even though you bought the dirt, it's really not yours, is it? It's controlled by somebody else. So keep these things in mind. Now, when it comes to their rig, that's right, it's your rig, your little hunk of dirt, but are there rig restrictions? Is there a certain age, just like some campsites? Your rig can't be over 10 years old. Do they have that same thing? Once your rig gets a certain age, do you have to go buy a new one? Or are you not allowed in your own little hunk of dirt? Or, I just watched a guy, he bought a spot in Montana. He spent, now get this, $125,000 for a little, not even an acre of land. No, there's not a house on it. No, $125,000 for a spot, and Class A's only. So, when it comes to your rig, are you allowed to have your rig on your little hunk of dirt? The next thing you really want to think of is what is included. That means electric, water, sewage, and other things like that. Is that included? Or you just spent X amount of dollars on the little hunk of land. Now you have your HOA fee, which is so much every month. Now, are you going to have an electric bill? Are you going to have a water bill? Do you have a sewage bill? Or do you have just a sewage bill because there's a separate company that deals with the sewage? Or if you don't have an electric bill, or even if you do, is it a shared electric bill? Is it shared? So, for instance, if you come in and you get a bill for the electric usage for the park split equally. So if this person's there for 6 months out of the year, you're there for 1 month out of the year, you all pay the same?
No, dear, that's wrong.
That stuff happens too. So you want to make sure you can check that. Is it your bill for your usage, or is it split between everybody equally, no matter what you used? And then, of course, you want to ask about amenities. Are there any amenities while you're there? You paid an HOA fee. What does that fee actually cover? Do you have to mow your own grass? Do you have to worry about anything while you're not there? Does somebody come along and mow the grass or prune the bushes? Is there a little clubhouse? Is there a community pool? Or any other things like that? And if not, what does that HOA fee cover? If you're paying your mortgage or whatever, you paid for your hunk of land, and of course you're going to have property taxes now, because that's not free, and you're going to have to pay insurance. That's right, because if somebody comes and gets hurt or does anything on your little hunk of dirt, you can be held liable. So you have to have insurance, property taxes, your HOA fee, and all other stuff. So what does that HOA fee pay for? Is it just for the pure pleasure of sitting around and, hey, we all live in this little community. I know you bought your little hunk of dirt, but now you still have to pay us to come and use your hunk of dirt. What does those fees go to? Is it maintenance? Is it upkeep? Is it little amenities? What is it? Is it the electric? Is it the water? Is it the sewer? Is it the sewer only? Is it all the above? Look into these things. Check out everything, because again, just because you bought this little hunk of dirt somewhere in your little paradise, which I'm all for, I think it's a great idea. I think everybody out there, if you're living this lifestyle of the free, cheap, and easy, and full-time RVing, it's always good to have some place to go if something happens. If we've learned nothing from this pandemic, that when shit closes down, there's no place to go and there's nothing to do. Some people were stuck where they were. Some people chose to stay where they were. Some people went to relatives and hunkered down with them for a very long time and hopefully didn't wear out their welcome. And other people just kind of wandered around, but there was nothing to do, nowhere to go, because nothing was open. So to have a nice little place to go, whether it be a house or whatever, but this little RV park is a great thing, because on your travels, you can go, boom, hook up, and just relax, and you don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to make a reservation? No, it's your little hunk of dirt. Do I have to do this? Do I have to check in time? Do I have a checkout? No, everything is good to go because it's your little hunk of dirt. But there are rules you have to follow. Nobody likes rules, but they're there for a reason, because we all have to live together. You still have neighbors and you still have things that you have to be kind to and sociable to civilization. So check it out. I think it's a great idea, but make sure you do your homework or you're going to get stuck paying for a little hunk of dirt where someone's going to tell you all kinds of things, where you can't plant those color flowers, you have to have this back here, you have to let us go through here, and we can wander through your property whenever we want to. And you know, even if you're here 1 month out of the year and these people are here 8 months out of the year, we're all paying the same electric bill. It's shit like that. Check it out. Do your homework. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying it's a great idea if you're out there. Have that little safe haven to run to. But make sure you're smart about it before you sign on the dotted line. Take it as you will.
What was that thing you say?
That's the way I see it.
That's it. That's the way he sees it. Not me. I can't say that, but he can say that.
What we do here is go back.